I wanted to just put out a quick video outlining my thoughts on some of the San Diego Comic-Con announcements from this past weekend. No disrespect to any fans of these franchises, but I won't be going over Star Trek or Doctor Who, as well as some of the other smaller announcements. Truthfully, I haven't really gotten into those titles, so I don't want to react to anything I don't have any familiarity with. My main focus is going to be on some of the Amazon series as well as DC and Marvel. So without further ado, let's dive into SDCC 2024. Alright, so we're just going to run through some of the smaller announcements real quick. We got an update on Silo Season 2's premiere date, which will be November 15th of this year. I absolutely loved Season 1. I thought the writing, acting, and set designs were absolutely incredible. It's one of the best Apple TV series currently airing, in my opinion, and I can't wait to see Rebecca Ferguson back in action, who is now probably one of my favorite actresses working today. And we were informed that Steve Zahn will be joining the cast for Season 2, and he is always a delight. Next up, we got to look at Invincible's new suit for Season 3, as well as confirmation of a Season 4. And I gotta say, I love the all-blue suit. I think it looks really dope. I never read any of the Invincible comics, but I have heard that the blue suit is often related to darker storylines in the Invincible universe, which is exciting. But also, this show already gets pretty dark, so I can't wait to see what's in store for these next seasons coming up. I am a big fan of this show, so getting a confirmation for Season 4 was a welcome surprise. The first two seasons have been some of the best superhero content of the last few years, in my opinion. I do have a review for Season 2 of Invincible on the channel, so feel free to check that out. Speaking of Amazon superhero content, we are also getting a Boys prequel series involving Soldier Boy and Stormfront. I honestly wasn't that excited about this one. Don't get me wrong, I love The Boys, even though I thought Season 4 was sort of a step backward, and I enjoyed Gen V Season 1, and I can't really put my finger on it, but maybe it's the fact that Soldier Boy and Stormfront are both pretty just reprehensible. I mean, sure, they're going to throw in characters that will balance them out, no doubt, but I don't know, I'm mixed on this one. I'll watch for sure, it just wasn't my favorite announcement of this weekend. Lastly, for these smaller Amazon/Silo reviews, we got a trailer for Rings of Power Season 2. Now look, I was not a fan of Season 1. Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite trilogies of all time. Those three original movies are classics, and the Hobbit movies are whatever. But I thought the first season of this show was a slog to get through. I found a few of the characters interesting, but that was about it. The pacing was pretty bad. The Sauron fake out and reveal was just so obvious from like episode 1. And the Gandalf Hobbit storyline was just so boring. I know they're not hobbits, they're Harfoots or whatever the fuck. They're fucking hobbits, okay? Maybe Amazon has learned their lesson, but I remain pretty pessimistic about this one. I thought the trailer was fine. I wasn't overly impressed. I'll check it out, but, you know, like I said, I'm not excited, so I hope they prove me wrong. Alright, let's get to some of the heavy hitters. I know DC didn't really attend with a full panel to the event this year, but we still got a couple cool reveals. First off is a trailer for Creature Commandos. This looks fun. I love the animation style, and I'm excited for the kickoff of Gunn's DCU. Supposed kickoff anyway. I know he stated on multiple occasions that Suicide Squad as well as Peacemaker Season 1 aren't in the DCU. Fine. But we know Peacemaker is returning for Season 2 as well as supporting characters that were involved in both Season 1 and Suicide Squad. And we do know that Season 2 does take place in the DCU. So, I don't know. Maybe Gunn is just sort of playing coy, or maybe they'll address the universe change in that season, but I remain skeptical. Plus the fact that Frank Grillo made that post about avenging his son's death, I don't know, I just have this inkling that both Suicide Squad and Season 1 are going to end up being retconned into this new universe. But anyway, I digress. This looks fun, I'm excited for it, and for whatever more is to come in the DCU. Then we got our first full trailer for the Penguin series. Full disclosure, I am not the biggest fan of projects centered around villains, especially when they don't involve the hero, but this looks awesome. I was a huge fan of Matt Reeves' take on Batman, and I really do trust his judgment. He's a great director, phenomenal producer, and I love this world that he crafted and introduced. Not to mention Colin Farrell's Penguin is fantastic. I know this is supposed to build up plot threads that will lead into Batman Part 2, so I'm all for it. The cast is great, the trailer looked really good, so I'm excited for this one despite the reservations I had originally. Alright, here we go, Marvel's return to Hall H. Look, it's no secret the MCU has struggled over the past 4 years. They've put out some really good stuff, but also some pretty average to downright bad productions. With the release of Deadpool and Wolverine, hopefully they're steering into the right direction and recapturing some of that magic. They had a handful of announcements that they made throughout the duration of this panel, and boy was it a whirlwind. So, first off was Cap 4. Nothing too crazy came out of this section. We finally got confirmation that Giancarlo Esposito is playing the leader of the Serpent Society, Sidewinder. I'm not really familiar with this character or even the Serpent Society in general from the comics, but from my knowledge, they're pretty B-list in terms of Cap adversaries, so this didn't really sway me one way or another. Look, Esposito is fantastic, especially in villain roles, so I'm sure this character will be great. I think they showed some footage, maybe? I didn't see any leak online, but yeah, that was pretty much it from this portion of the panel. The cast of the Thunderbolts introduced a teaser trailer. I don't know if it leaked at all. I know the description did, and it sounded good. It seems like a classic spy thriller where all of these deadly killers or assassins are all hired for the same job, only to realize they've all been set up and they need to work together. Those are always enjoyable. I hope they release the footage soon because, to be honest, I'm pretty mixed on this film as it is. It's supposed to be Marvel's take on the Suicide Squad, and I like all of the characters and cast involved, but maybe once the trailer drops publicly, I'll be more excited. Also, what the hell is the asterisk for, goddammit? Alright, now we're getting into the mic drops here. The Fantastic Four cast was officially introduced along with some test footage. I think it's been taken down now, but I did see the leaked footage when it came online, I think on Reddit. It looked cool. The retro 60s design is fun. The Fantasticar, while usually pretty corny in my opinion, looks cool and it fits the aesthetic. We got teases of the cast in their spacesuits, presumably before the event that grants them their abilities. And at the end, we even got a tease of Galactus peering through the window of a building. Possibly the Baxter building, I'm guessing. But thank God they're doing Galactus proper. I hope they pull it off. He looked really cool. And look, I'm not the biggest fan of the Fantastic Four in general. I honestly have always thought they were pretty lame. One of my least favorite superhero teams, honestly. But I am excited for this. Next up, the Russos are back. They figured out that they really aren't that talented outside of the Marvel constraints. Sorry for any Russo fans out there, but their recent work has really not been good. But everything they've done within the MCU has been great. Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame, those are all top tier MCU. Do I think they can reinvigorate this franchise? I think they have the capabilities to do so, so I'll just say that. They also announced that they will be directing Avengers 6, Secret Wars, and Avengers 5, which has pivoted away, and I think for the better, from the Kang saga to Avengers Doomsday. Wild news. While I am a fan of some of the multiverse stuff like No Way Home and Loki, it's just been so mishandled that I think this is a smart play to just move on or bring it to an end entirely as quick as possible. It sucks we lost Jonathan Majors because with his talent, I thought he could have been a great team-up villain, but it is what it is. Then we got the most controversial announcement of the weekend, maybe the most controversial announcement in all Marvel Hall H history. Robert Downey Jr. is returning to play Doctor Doom. Dumb. I fucking hate this. Listen, I know comics, no one really ever dies. Fine, whatever. But I am never a fan of bringing people back. To me, it just removes stakes, makes death and other sacrifices involved just meaningless. I know some people have been clamoring for the return of RDJ and Chris Evans, and I honestly despise that. Just let it be. They both went out with a bang and had their time. Let's move on to new and different things. I just feel like bringing them back just ruins the great arcs and endings that those characters had. And on top of that, look, could RDJ pull this villain turn off and make Doom a great adversary? 100% yes. Considering his performance in Oppenheimer, I have no doubt that he could do this and do it well. But my god, we've had him in this universe for like 25 years. I just want to see someone different. Give some other talented actors the reins and let them do what they do. I know some people think it could be cool if he's playing the Tony variant of Doom, like in the comics, and going up against Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but I honestly just don't care. I want to see Doom proper, and I want to see someone else portray him. I mean, Cillian Murphy was right there. What are we doing? And even if you're going to give an MCU actor a second chance, give it to Mads Mikkelsen. He'd be a great Doctor Doom, and he was given such a bland role in his initial outing in the first Doctor Strange. An actor like that deserves it. At the end of the day, this just feels like a cheap, lazy choice designed to create hype. Was RDJ a big reason why the franchise was so successful? No doubt, but he wasn't the only piece. This just seems like the studio still isn't paying attention to the real issue, which is the storytelling aspect of these movies. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below. Watch out for my upcoming review of The Boys Season 4, as well as my retrospective for Captain America Civil War. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and tell a friend. I appreciate all of the support.